You're going to have a lot of people, those you care about and those you don't. They're going to offer up their opinion about what you're doing. I'm telling you, you cannot listen. You're going to put that blindfold on and you're going to honor this process. You're just going to go. When you hear the distractions, do not lift your blindfold. You go. I'll be there every step with you. Better, do you trust me?
I do.
Now we go.
Okay, stop. No, play. Are you seriously going to take commission on the job? I mean, are you crazy?
Man, don't look, don't listen. You got this. You got this. Keep going.
Over here. You can't make it. You got 3 kids you got to feed. You can't make it on commission.
They got to believe in you. You can do it. Honor the process. Keep going. You got it. You got it. You're almost there. Beck, congratulations. You made it. You honored the process. Your hard work has paid off. Take off your blindfold.
So pretty.
What is it?
What is it? My statement.
Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the stage District Sales Coordinator, Beck Smallwood.
First thing I want to say is I'm nervous, and y'all know me. Thankfully, I know most of y'all, so the first thing I want to say, though, is that I really appreciate Aaron taking such a big risk and letting me be on stage, unscripted and unteleprompted. The next thing is that I understand whenever the conversations were going on about me actually being a part of speaking at this meeting, that there was one condition brought by Blakeman, which surprisingly someone put Blakeman in the corner. I don't know how that's going to work out. But he said I must snort during this presentation. So I'm going to try to work that in for you, Blakeman. Can I see you? Where you at? All right, there you are. Okay. No, but really, okay, so I want to tell a joke because I play music on the weekends, and to start every show and break the ice, I tell a joke. So, did y'all hear about the scarecrow who got a promotion? Thank you. No, thank you. Appropriate answer. He was outstanding in his field. Let me check my time. I'm a rambler. But really, I want to tell you all how I got started, because I think it just speaks to so many of y'all and how where you're sitting at today, because I got my note cards in case y'all are wondering. You know, my story is mine, but it's not unique. It's all the people in this room. If you ask any of these veterans their story, they'll tell you it started out similar to mine. But I was living in the Appalachian Mountains, living the Appalachian dream. Now that dream is really similar to the American dream, but it's built on coal mines and strip jobs. If you don't know what a strip job is, look it up. It's not what you think. Tim had a great job. Tim's my husband, by the way. You saw his name up there for some awards. Tim's my husband. He had a great job working for CSX. That's one of the most coveted jobs that you can get in our town. Everybody wants that job. It's security, it's good pay, it's benefits, all those things. So he was working that job, and I had a good job. I was paying, or they were paying me what I thought I was worth, about $32,000 a year. That's not a bad living in Eastern Kentucky when you match that up. We had made our whole life based on safe choices, things that we felt secure in, things that were sure bets. And I went to work one morning, just like every other morning. I came in and sat down with my boss, and we had our first cup of coffee, and she's like, Beck, I want to tell you just how much I've enjoyed working with you. Enjoyed working with me. Because first I was thinking, this is going great. You know, she's enjoying working with me. You're such an asset to the team. You know, I was doing the books for that coal mine, and she said, but I have to tell you that today is the last day for the coal mine. So if there's no coal miners working, I don't have anyone to write a paycheck for, which means I don't have a paycheck, so I'm laid off, you know. And I thought, okay, this is all right. Let me regroup myself. This is okay. Tim has a great job. He's been providing for us for 10 years. We never lived in the same house, which may be a testament to why we've been married 14 years. But we never lived in the same house. He lived in another town. But it was okay. That was a sacrifice that we were willing to make because he had such a great job. Fast Fast forward 2 short days later, and Tim calls me, and he says, hey, I got to talk to you about my job. I'm like, oh, buddy, got to talk to you about mine too. So he tells me, he said, they've given us a choice. We can either move to Florida, and I can keep my job, or we can stay here and we won't have a job. And I was like, okay, all right. Well, see, I couldn't leave the mountains. There was something in me that couldn't leave that place. Those mountains made me who I was, and I had my parents there that I had to take care of. So I didn't know what I was going to do. We had 3 kids, we had a lot of bills, and no options. But I had a friend, and I had seen her 6 months ago, and she had talked to me about insurance. But who wants to sell insurance? Not me. Commission only. You're trying to tell somebody to buy something they think they're never going to need. Who wants $10 more of their paycheck? Not me. Go on. So it wasn't for me. But she believed in Aflac, and she believed in the opportunity, and I believed in her. See, I trusted her, and that transfer of trust was huge for us. How many of y'all in here are a nomination? Put my hand up. How many of y'all are nominators? To the nominators in the room, I want to say thank you. Because of her, my life has been totally changed. I am eternally grateful to her for nominating me into this business. So when you bring a nomination to your DSC or your RSC, just know what you're doing for that person, something that they never thought they could do for themselves. The first year was really, really hard. Aaron can attest. Called him a few times. He will answer. I don't know about how many times he answered for me, but you know. I'm going to never stand up here and tell you that that first year was easy, because if I tell you the first year was easy, you're not going to believe anything else I say. And I want you to believe what I say, and I want you to grab onto it, and I want you to change your life. I want you to make a decision that you can change your life. See, you could hide $1 million under a shovel, and nobody would ever find it. Because if they pick up that shovel, they ain't going to have to work. And they ain't going to work. So you just hide all your treasures under a shovel, because nobody wants to do hard work. But I went to work every day. If I had $2 in the bank, if I had $2,000 in the bank, I went to work every day. And I know you've heard everybody talk about that, but it's the truth. I put my shoes on, set that alarm clock, took my kids to school, and went to work. I didn't know where I was going half the time, but I just went somewhere. I was determined to see what this dream could be for me. Because just 3 short years ago, I was sitting in this room, and I know there are brand new agents in this room. I had my writing number for 1 week. And I saw all these people parade up on this stage and get all these awards. The $1 Million Club, that really tickled my fancy. But I thought, how on earth do those people do that? You know, that's great for them. They're so successful, but that's not going to be me. See, even though I was here, I wasn't here. I thought all the success that y'all had wasn't for me. I'm going to get emotional, but that's okay. I still didn't think I could do it, but I made it through that first year. I worked really, really hard. Bills were late. Relationships were strained. But I had burned all my bridges. And I had burned the boat that I used to get onto this island, and I had nowhere else to go. And it's amazing what you can do when you don't have a choice, when you have no options. It really changes things for you. And there are moments in this career that you're going to remember. There are moments that are going to make you who you are. I would love to tell you that all my moments are moments of grandeur. You know, I landed that big account, I got that 1,000 life case, I closed that deal. But they're not. You'll never forget your first account. You'll never forget that first deal. But your failures and your trials, those are the things that will make you who you are. There are 3 moments that I recall daily. The first moment, I know some of y'all have heard me tell this story, so block it out or write it down, tell it as your own. But I worked every single day with my nominator for a whole year. And we had to drive to Sayersville. It's about an hour from where we live. And we had met at the office that morning, and I think I had $6 and she had $4. So I was like, we can get to Sayersville on that? Yeah. So we put $10 worth of gas in the car. We got to the appointment. I don't even remember how the appointment went, but I remember it was lunchtime, so we had to go to Wendy's. We pulled in and I was like, okay, we don't have any money, what are we gonna do? So I opened up my purse and I undid my change purse and I counted out all the change I had. She counted out all the change she had, and we had $4. So we split a 4 for $4 that day. Thank God for a 4 for $4. But I went in that restaurant for lunch and I said, what am I doing? I'm sitting in Wendy's counting out change for a 4 for $4. And not just for myself, but I'm gonna have to split this 4 for $4. I'm gonna get 2 nuggets and half a burger. You know. But I questioned everything that day and I thought, what am I doing? What am I doing? But I had this voice in my head, it's Dale Davis in a thick southern accent. And he was telling me, you gonna honor that process? You're gonna honor that process. You're gonna put your head down, you're gonna go to work. So I did. And I made that decision. I thought, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna give it another year. But whenever I have the highs that I have now, I think back to that Wendy's parking lot and those quarters, and I say, thank you, Lord, for those quarters and that 4 for $4, because they made me who I am and they keep my feet on the ground. The second moment, and I wish I could tell you again that it was, oh, I had a great case, but it wasn't. I had a terrible day and a terrible week. And I was driving home, and I know y'all from the South, Southern Kentucky, Eastern Kentucky, will hear my cry when I say, and y'all prepare yourself from the city, we don't have cell phone service everywhere. Makes life a little bit difficult. So I had to pull off beside the road for 2 reasons. One, I was about to run out of cell phone service, but 2, I was crying so hard I couldn't see to drive anymore. And I called Dale, and I said, Dale, I just want you to know this is my last day. I'm done. I'm not going to go home and look Tim in the face and tell him I failed again. I'm not going to look at my 3 kids and tell them no again. I'm not going to do that. I'm finished with it. Thank you for the opportunity, but it wasn't for me. And again, he said, do you trust the process? Yeah, I do. Do you trust me? Yeah, I do. Wavering, but yeah. And he said, give me 2 years. Can you give me 2 years? I thought, y'all know what I'm going to do for the next 2 years. I'll starve and lose my house. That's all right. You got them 2 years. But he said, give me 2 years. But in my mind, I went home. And I told Tim, he was laid off. He was at home. I said, Tim, I want you to know I'm going to go get a real job tomorrow. You're not going to have to worry about it. I'm going to get a real job tomorrow. And he said, what are you talking about? You have the best job. He said, you are in the plan. You cannot quit. This is what's going to change our life. He said, you were made for this. You cannot quit. So to the spouses in the room, I just want to take a second to tell you how powerful you are. You can do one of 2 things. You can push us towards that goal, or you can pull us back. You have the power to quieten the voices that make us doubt ourselves and make us want to quit altogether. And to the leaders in this room, my peers, you DSCs and you RSCs, don't you ever underestimate or take for granted the relationship that you have with your people. Because there are days that the only thing that is keeping them in this business is your phone call. Take their phone call. Listen to them cry. Tell them you know they're bound for greatness, even if you don't know if they are. Because you will never, ever know what that means to them. And I know y'all got Pam Larson's number. So you put that on speed dial number 1. And number 2, I want y'all to take your book and your pen and write my phone number down. And I mean this with everything in me. If you're beside of the road and you're crying and you want to quit, you call me or you text me. It's 606. Hey, from the 606 back there. 794-7893. I'll say it again for those in the back. 606-794-7893. So I went on because it is impossible for every day to be a bad day when you're working hard. It's just impossible. Eventually you're going to walk into a business You're going to say something stupider than you've ever said before, and they're going to say, did you say Aflac? Yeah, I've been waiting for somebody to come in. It ain't going to happen every day, but I'm telling you, if you go to work every single day and you work hard, you will happen upon someone. And I did that. I worked really hard, and I worked really smart. And I honored the process, and I proved that theory. It's what Dale used to say. I'd say, how on earth do you know this works? He'd say, you know this theory? I'm like, all right, okay. So I proved the theory. I knocked on the doors. I made the calls. And I began to see the plan that I didn't think was for me. For the first time, I could see the forest instead of just the trees. And I had small successes and large successes. And I would call Dale 1,000 times a day. I'd say, what do I do now? What do I do now? And I used all the resources that I had. I listened to my leaders. I got comfortable being uncomfortable, which is, our favorite thing to say. But nothing great ever come from your comfort zone. I know y'all know that, but I'm just telling you it's true. And I was coachable. One piece of advice for all you new people and you old people in the room, stay coachable. Your leaders will pour into you if you stay coachable. If you know everything, we ain't got to teach you nothing. Just go on and do it yourself. See how that works out for you. But I had more success than I ever dreamed I would have. I busted the coal ceiling, like I said, instead of that glass ceiling. And I saw that plan that I couldn't see 3 years ago. And then there was moment number 3, and I'm going to wrap it up with a bow for you. But I was standing in my bedroom, and I had to call Bill and tell him that my dad had been diagnosed with cancer. And I'll never forget that moment and how I felt. And I told him, I said, Dale, I know this seems like it's impossible. I had a big quota. I said, but I'm going to climb that $1.2 million mountain. And I'm going to hit those fames along the way. So that my dad, who has covered my business in prayer every day, he spent more time praying for me than anybody else. I never underestimate the power of praying parents. But I wanted them to see me hit those goals and do those things that they never thought I could do. So my team had better conversations than we ever had. We got better enrollment conditions than we ever had. We used those value-added services. We used those tools that we had. We had our eyes opened. We can do this because my attitude changed. And I had faith. And we did it. We didn't just climb that $1.2 million mountain, but we climbed a $1.5 million mountain. My people made more money than they'd made. They hit their bonuses. And money's not everything in life, but it sure does give you opportunity and options. I got to take my dad to see the Ark. I got to take my kids to Disney World, which was, we hadn't been on vacation in 6 years. And I know I've said a lot of things. And all you veterans in the room, I love you. But most of you are living your Aflac dream. But I want to talk to just the people that are here 2 years. I want this to be your story. I want you to see me standing here and know that this can be you. Because I was you. 3 years ago, I was sitting in that same seat, wondering if I got home, would I have water? Which bill would be late? What should I do? And I wanted to quit. But I didn't. And you can do this. One, surround yourself with people that believe in you. Don't say nobody believes in you because I gave you my phone number and I believe in you. Work hard every day. Go to work every day. That's it. Just go to work. Honor the process. The slow, grueling process. Plant your seeds and water your dreams. And they're going to grow your own forest. And if I can be number 1 in the whole state with an accent like this, what's your problem? Am I right, Lakeland?
Ladies and gentlemen,